So we are back day 2, the Shark Tank Reunion 24 conference in Tampa, Florida. And I have a special guest here. We've been looking to do this over the past couple of days, and we finally got a chance to sit down and do this. So Joy, can you first, I like to do this with the audience, describe your product. And again, we'll touch on a lot of different products because it seems like your inventing history goes goes back decades, but I guess with the present day, can you explain or describe the product that you have here in front of us so that the audience can have a little bit better understanding of what you've invented here?
I invented a patient maneuvering device basically because 94% of all people that maneuver their loved ones or work in the industry have back injuries, and I was one of them. So I created this as a retired boat captain. I drove 130-foot boats. And as a retired captain, I learned a lot about hoisting. So I made this one for those that want a little, Princess and the Pea. They gotta have a little cushy for the tushy. And then I made this one here for the military because you could use this and rescue your guy on the front line. You could do water rescues with this one. And I just moved the grunk with this yesterday, and he's 240 pounds, and I moved him with one hand. And then I made this little mini one for my friend. She was an amputee, and my mother was Parkinson's, and with this one, they have trouble getting out of bed, but if you grab the handle and bring it across your chest, it's gonna roll you out of bed. But you need to be sure-footed. You can't be, like uneasy on your feet. So I can maneuver because someone bet me that I couldn't maneuver his son, who is 350 pounds.
Really?
And that's the only reason I know I can maneuver 350 pounds is because I take bets.
Oh, there you go.
They didn't let me in on the bet, so I didn't get any money. I made him give me a video, though, and he says, Joy's 1/3 of my size, and she moved me with one hand, and so did my wife.
So let me ask you this, because I always found as an intellectual property attorney that from talking to great minds such as yourself, it all started with a problem, whether it was a problem that you faced personally or a problem that maybe a loved one faced personally that you're trying to help solve. Where did the inspiration come from regarding your product?
Well, originally, as a captain, my mother was very proud of me, and she would come on board the boat. As she got older, she had got Parkinson's disease, and I would have to hoist her up on board the boat. Never did I think that my hoisting dinghies and boats and boat toys up onto the yacht was going to come out of anything, but when I cared for her and my husband, it hurt my back, and it resulted in back surgery after my husband. I tried to help him, and it broke my back. So I said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way that caregivers don't have to be on drugs or occupational therapy for the rest of their life. And being that I've got my journeyman's in sheet metal, ship fitting, weld titanium, and an engineering degree, I figured out how to make per pound per square inch. So even the Gronk felt like he was 15 pounds when I moved him yesterday.
So let me ask you this, because we were just talking before you came on camera, in your history regarding intellectual property patents, which you do have a patent on this.
Yes, I have 2 patents right
this
here.
is not your first patent. Can you tell the audience what was your very first patent?
My very first patent?
And when was it? How far back does that go?
Okay, back in 1976, I was working at Pratt Whitney, and they build all the afterburner turbine jet engines for F-14s and F-15s at the time. And we didn't have any work in the sheet metal department, so my boss farmed me out to the grip blasting department. And I was kind of pissed, but I was like, okay, I'll do it. And he comes over and he's like, hey, Joy, how do you like the job? And I said, it's redundant. And he says, what do you mean? And I said, you've got me changing 4 molds to grip blast 1 blade. Let me show you how to make it 1 mold. And I went into the office with him and I showed him how to make it 1 mold. And they made me sign my life away on a piece of paper. I was top priority security clearance anyway, so I had to sign my life away. And they gave me a check for $36,000, and that was back in 1976.
So did you quit? Now, for me, I'm curious to know, did you quit at that point, or were you still working with them for a period of time thereafter?
I worked for them a little while after that.
Okay, so then, I guess, did you get kind of bit with the whole patent or the entrepreneur book? Like, when did that come about in terms of, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur and create my own products and protect them and sell them? When did that come about?
Well, in the 3rd grade, our teacher had us do a creative writing project, and I told my father, who was an optometrist, that we should make colored contact lenses or photo gray contact lenses. And he told me I was crazy, but he was an optometrist. I made him give me a copy of every colored contact lens after that because he didn't believe in me. And I've got a couple ideas I'm still going to be working on. We'll be working together.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't want to say about the ideas that haven't come out yet on camera. But no, yeah, we'll definitely connect. We exchange information. Let me ask you this, because we're at the Shark Tank Reunion Conference, filled with other Shark Tank participants over the years. What has been one of the most maybe important or interesting points that you have taken from this conference so far? I know we're on day 2. We still have one more day tomorrow. What is something interesting or informative that one of the speakers, or maybe talking to one of the other Shark Tank guests that you have kind of got, like, okay, I need to maybe follow that one back and maybe come back to that later? Is this something that you can share with the audience?
Yeah, I don't have my patents in my company name.
Yeah, you definitely need to do that.
And that was a big one I learned this weekend is I thought I could just license it to my company, and they said no. But a very good friend of mine lost his patents during COVID, and that's why I didn't know if there was going to be another one of those planned things. So I didn't want to put mine in the company in case they were planning round
for
2.
For sure.
You can edit that if you want.
Yeah, no. Hey, look, we like to raw and uncut here. I'll tell you that. So no, that's interesting. So to put the patents in the company name, and I actually like that idea just because I think all the IP to put it in a company name, really, if you want to get a lot more sophisticated, you can have them in a separate company, for example, like trademarks and things like that, and have that company license, your IP company license the IP to your operating company, especially with the trademarks, because it kind of gives credibility to the value of that IP. Say if you pay 10% or whatever, say for example your operating company makes $10 million a year and you have a kind of a contract between your operating company and your IP, that company that owns the IP, to say, hey, you're going to give us 10%. I mean, clearly you own both companies, but to say, hey, you're going to give 10% of your revenue to the IP company, kind of to give credibility to the value of that IP. I've seen that a lot, and I've done that, and it seems like that's one of the things that's kind of popular amongst, like, maybe a lot more sophisticated business owners, that they go that route. So no,
can I add one thing?
Oh, go ahead.
And Gromit told me if I was on Shopify, he'd take me.
Really?
Yes.
So are you going to go on Shopify?
I'm going to have to get on Shopify. That's another thing I learned this weekend.
No, for sure. Yeah, Shopify. And I heard of Shopify, but I didn't know the power and the influence that it had until kind of some of these presentations here. Let me ask you this, and I always like to ask the guests this. What advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs? So, I mean, again, you've been at this for decades. You've been doing your thing, creating, selling your products, protecting your products. What advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs, those who may have an ideal, they're unsure if they want to come out with it or if they want to kind of keep it to themselves and don't do anything with it? What advice would you give them to either kind of do something with the product or not do something with the product? What would your advice to that person be?
Well, like I told the kids at the Boys and Girls Club, because I was also working with them and I was a judge at their inventors conference. Yeah. And I told them, never give up and believe in yourself no matter what. As Winston Churchill says, never give up. I have that posted by my door, so when I walk out of my bedroom every morning, it shouts at me.
I like that. I really like that. And then the last thing I'll get you up out of here on, and this is probably the most important thing, how can people go follow you, number one, as well as purchase the product?
My company's name is Joyz Medical Concepts. Okay. My website is joyzmedical.com. And I'm on zazzzy.com and soon Shopify now that I know about it.
For sure. So
I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook. And
So what is the social media handles as far as LinkedIn and Facebook? Do you?
Joy's Medical Concepts and Joy Young on LinkedIn. I started with another effort years ago, so Joy Young on Facebook.
Okay. I got you.
I was an advocate for young people.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm kind of sticking with Joy Young because I have a lot of followers there.
And again, you still have this youthful energy about you, which is what I love.
I am 68 years old.
Well, look at. You have
can edit that.
Yeah.
Really.
Definitely, crowd or audience, go check out the products. She, like she said earlier she moved Chris Gronkowski, which is Rob Gronkowski, the NFL great, all-time great tight end. She moved his brother yesterday, who's a pretty big guy, with the product.
Say 240.
So, 240 pounds at least, and so the product definitely works. I'll give you the last word. I know we've been trying to do this for a couple of days now. Finally, we got a chance to do it. What last word would you like to leave the audience with?
I'm here to help the heroes so they don't have to be on drugs. And if you could maneuver a patient with one hand and not hurt your body, you will not be in occupational therapy and you will not be on drugs because of your job, because I'm changing that right now.
Yep. And I love that. I know a lot of times here in America and the U.S., whatever, we kind of buy a lot of stuff that, is kind of throwaway or kind of doesn't have really value outside of like dumb stuff, but this has a bigger impact for others.
And they're throwing thousands of plastic sheets from the hospital every day into our landfill, and this is washable and reusable.
There you go. Hey, what more do you want, people? Go purchase the product. Go follow. She's going to be coming out with some other stuff, and I'm going to help her come out with some other stuff. So go follow Joy on the social media handles. Check out the website. She's not going anywhere. She's 68 years young. You heard her, and she's going to be around for a while. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Take care.
Thank you, guys.